This is a lovely little recipe, very, very simple. I'm going to make a nice flaxseed kind of bread cracker, for want of a better description. Just a couple of ingredients, a little baking powder, an equal amount of oatmeal, of flaxseed, and I'm going to just top that with some pumpkin seeds. And again, very, very high in omega-3s, going to be a very good hit of a magnesium and so on with this. And I'm going to pair those little crackers with a very simple little egg dish, which is going to be just caramelized shallots. I'm going to cook them with a little bit of olive oil and a pinch of thyme. Nothing else needed because there's loads of flavor in shallots in particular. And then I'm just going to put a couple of eggs into them. I'm going to steam the eggs in and just lay them on top of this little bread. And it's going to be a lovely, nutritious, high protein, very high mineral content little dish. But just discuss very briefly one of those ingredients, which are the flax seeds. Now, flax seeds are great little seeds to try bring into your diet, especially from an anti-inflammatory point of view and arthritis control, because flax seeds are quite high. They're a land-based seed, obviously, but they're quite high in omega-3 fatty acids. Now, that omega-3 that you'll find in flax seeds is ALA, which is alpha-linolic acid, and this is a nice land-based source of omega-3s. But in addition to that, they've got a great mineral profile. They're quite good they're a good source of magnesium, of iron, of zinc, of phosphorus. So there's lots of other benefits which are very, very beneficial. And that's only just to name a few within that. They're also a great source of fiber and good source of soluble fiber as well. So that fiber is very important for making your whole system work well. And it's also a very important part of your microbiome, so for your gut fauna. So flax seeds, and I could go on and on about how great they are, and they're a very versatile ingredient as well. So, but flax seeds, a great little thing to bring into your diet. And I'm just going to very quickly make this basic dough as well while I'm talking. So a cup of flaxseed, a cup of oatmeal, about a teaspoonful of baking powder, and I'm just going to mix those together. I'm going to put a little pinch of salt. I'm using a potassium salt. Again, it's my own preference. Mix together dry ingredients. And then about a cup of water. Again, mix those all together into a nice dough. Very quickly, when the flax seeds come in contact with water, you'll find that they start to swell up. So sometimes it's good to make this little dough a little bit in advance and then allow the oatmeal and the flax seeds just absorb in the water. So I would recommend letting that stand, that little dough, for just a few minutes, maybe about 15 minutes. Then we'll come back and pop it onto a baking mat and into the oven. So I'll leave that for a minute and then get back to it. So having waited about 15 minutes, you'll find that your flaxseed and oatmeal mixture will have thickened up. It'll absorb the water and it'll get a lovely kind of a doughy kind of, not a doughy, but just a nice, more battery consistency. And then it's only a case of, I like to use a silicone mat and I very lightly oil this. And I'm just going to pour that mixture out onto my mat. And then I'm just going to spread it around. Spread it nice and thinly, just right over not too thin, not too thick, about say half a centimetre, thereabouts, to kind of think nice kind of cracker kind of thickness. There's really not a lot to go wrong with this. So spread it quite evenly over your mat. And then into an oven, 180 degrees, in around 45 minutes these will take to cook. And you'll have this lovely kind of a wafer kind of cracker, if you like. And it's a great carrier for dishes like the eggs and things like that. So that's it, nice to spread out. and into the oven. Oh, and just, I nearly forgot there, out of the oven, I nearly forgot my pumpkin seeds. So when you have this done like this, I'm just going to sprinkle my pumpkin seeds liberally over the cracker and just lightly pat them in a little bit so they just all don't fall out. And then into the oven. So, with the pumpkin seeds this time, and now into the oven. The eggs first. A little drop of oil into a pan, and then my shallots. I've peeled and sliced them quite finely into a slice. And then I'm just going to allow those cook and render down over a moderate heat with a lid on just for a few minutes. If your pan is getting anyway dry, don't add oil. Add about a tablespoon of water and then cover it up again. And just do that if your pan ever gets dry. As your shallots are cooking, and again, as I said, if your pan gets dry, don't add oil. Add a little drop of water. When they get to about this point, which is cooking about 8 minutes at a nice low heat, I'm now going to add my little bit of thyme. You could use fresh thyme or dry thyme. And also at this point, going to add just a pinch of seasoning. Not much though. And again, I'm just going to allow that cook along. And again, if your pan gets dry, add a drop of water. Put my eggs onto the pan. And now what I'm going to do is I've just kind of made that nice little well in the center. My eggs are now on the pan. And then I'm just going to cover that over. And just let the residual heat in the pan complete the cookery on the eggs. Just don't remove the lid and let it cook for about 6 minutes thereabouts. As my eggs are just finishing now in the pan, I've just taken my crisp breads out of the oven. And as you can see, they're very, very simple. Now you can just put these on a board, slice them up into nice pieces. As you can see, they're very, very manageable. It's just one big crisp bread. And cut them into nice little portions. And they will allow them to cool fully, and they will store beautifully for about a week in an airtight container. And there we have our lovely crisp breads. I've just cut them into portions, very easy, and they will store, and they're so, so easy to use and so versatile. So, aside from the crisp breads, let's complete this dish. So, onto a nice little plate. All you need to do is get a nice crisp bread. Pop it down on your plate. As you can see, my eggs have just, the residual heat in the pan has just completed those. So I have my eggs with my onions, or my shallots I should say, excuse me. And I'm just going to place them atop. And that is pretty much it. Really that simple. And there's our lovely little eggs on crisp bread. Pop a little fork on the side, and we're done for a lovely little brunch, simple, simple little dish. Enjoy it.